There are two types of people in 2026: the ones who are quietly getting rich and the ones who look like they are. And the scary part, most people can't tell the difference, not even themselves. Today, I'm going to show you 10 things that feel like wealth, things that society tells you signal success, but are mathematically designed to keep you broke. Check how many of these apply to you, because the number might surprise you.
A leased BMW or Mercedes has become the universal symbol of financial success. It's also one of the most effective wealth destroyers ever designed. Here's why. When you lease a luxury car at $800 a month, you own nothing at the end. You've paid $28,800 over 3 years for the temporary feeling of status. The quietly rich person drives a 3-year-old Toyota they bought in cash. The person trying to look rich leases a BMW they can't afford and releases another one the moment the contract ends. One of them is building wealth, the other is renting the appearance of it, and the market doesn't care which one looks better in the parking lot.
A $600 hoodie does one thing. It signals to other people that you spent $600 on a hoodie. That's it. That's the entire transaction. You trade it $600, which at 7% returns becomes $1,180 in 10 years, for a label that impresses people who are also overspending to impress you. Here's what's interesting. Multiple studies on actual millionaires show the majority don't wear designer brands regularly. Not because they can't afford them, but because they stopped needing external signals to feel wealthy once they became wealthy. Designer clothing isn't a sign of wealth. It's often a sign of wanting to look like you have wealth you haven't built yet.
This one isn't about cutting joy from your life. It's about understanding what restaurant meals actually cost when you do the math. The average person who eats out 5 times a week spends roughly $400 a month on restaurant food. That's $4,800 a year. Over 10 years, invested at 7%, that's $66,000. Not from a luxury habit, from average restaurant visits. Humphrey Yang showed that a McDonald's meal now costs close to $14. A sit-down casual restaurant costs $16 to $18. The gap has almost closed, but the wealth gap between the person who eats out daily and the one who doesn't, that gap is $66,000 and growing. The meal isn't the problem, the habit is. Apple releases a new iPhone every September. And every September, millions of people trade in a perfectly functional device for marginal improvements at $1,000 or more. If you upgrade your phone every year from age 25 to 55, that's 30 upgrades. Even with trading credits, you're spending roughly $400 net per upgrade. That's $12,000 over your lifetime on phones that were never broken. Invested at 7%, that number becomes $37,000. The quietly rich person upgrades every 3 to 4 years when the phone actually needs replacing. The phone in your pocket doesn't build your net worth. The discipline around buying it does. There's a study showing the average person underestimates their monthly subscription spending by 2.5 times. They think they spend $50 a month on subscriptions, they actually spend $125. Netflix, Spotify, Disney Plus, gym membership, meal kits, cloud storage, Amazon Prime, news apps, productivity tools, every one of them will sold to you as just a few dollars a month. Add them up, for most people, it's $150 to $250 a month on services they use partially or not at all. $200 a month in forgotten subscriptions is $2,400 a year. Over 15 years invested at 7%, that's $59,000. Not from overspending on one thing, from death by 1,000 small direct debits. Here's a question worth sitting with. Would you still buy it if nobody could see it? The $300 hotel room upgrade for a photo, the business class seat for a 3-hour flight, the concert ticket in the premium section because the regular section doesn't look right on a story. These aren't purchases, they're content production budgets. You're paying to curate a version of your life for people who are doing the exact same thing.
Social media has turned lifestyle inflation into a performance, and the audience is other people who are also performing. Meanwhile, the person with real wealth doesn't post it, they compound it, because they learned a long time ago that the people worth impressing don't care about your Instagram.
This one quietly costs more than almost anything else on this list, and most people have no idea it's happening. Actively managed mutual funds charge between 0.75% and 1.5% in annual fees. That sounds small. On $500,000 invested over 30 years at 8% returns, the difference between a 0.03% index fund and a 1% managed fund is $1,200,000. Not in performance, just in fees. You paid $1.2 million for someone to underperform the market because according to S&P Global, 85 to 90% of actively managed funds fail to beat their benchmark over 20 years. The wealth illusion here is trusting that expensive financial products mean better results. They don't. The boring index fund almost always wins.
You get a raise. You move to a better apartment. You get another raise. You get a newer car. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it is the single most common reason high earners end up with nothing. A person earning $3,000 a month who saves 20% builds more wealth than a person earning $7,000 a month who saves 5%. Every time. The math doesn't lie. The raise isn't the problem. The automatic decision to expand your lifestyle to match it is. Every raise you get is a choice. Upgrade your life visibly or upgrade your net worth invisibly. The quietly rich person takes the raise and keeps their expenses flat for 6 more months. What they do with that window determines everything.
Homeownership is the most sacred wealth myth in existence. And in 2026, with mortgage rates at 6.5 to 7%, it may also be the most expensive one. According to LendingTree, homeowners with a mortgage pay 36.9% more per month than renters in the same area. That's not a mortgage payment, that's a wealth drain disguised as an investment. Renting and investing the difference isn't giving up on wealth. For many people in 2026, it is the wealth strategy. The illusion is that owning always beats renting. The reality is that owning the wrong home at the wrong time at the wrong rate can set your financial timeline back by a decade. Buy when the math works, not when society tells you that you should.
This is the one that ties everything together. Looking rich has never been cheaper or easier. Leased cars, rented designer clothes, Airbnb mansions for a weekend, luxury hotel lobbies that cost nothing to walk into. The performance of wealth is now fully accessible to people with zero wealth, which means the signal has completely broken down. The person with a $2 million net worth and the person with $200 in their account can look identical on a Monday morning. Real wealth in 2026 is invisible. It's an index fund statement nobody sees. It's a number on a screen that never gets posted. The goal was never to look rich. The goal is to build something that lasts. And those two things almost never happen at the same time.
None of these 10 things are about deprivation. They're about understanding the difference between spending that signals wealth and spending that builds it. Because in a world where everyone is performing financial success, the person quietly doing the math is the one who actually achieves it. Go back through that list. How many apply to you right now? Drop the number in the comments. And if this reframed the way you think about money, subscribe, because this is exactly what we build here every week.